Welcome to The Point. I'm your host, Ana Kasparian, and I haven't been this excited for a show or for anything since I heard that Drake was going to perform with Lil Wayne at the Hollywood Bowl. The reason why I'm so freaking excited is because I have my absolute favorite panelists here today. We have Dave Rubin, who of course is the host of the Rubin Report and TYT 140 on the Young Turks, obviously. Thank you for coming back.
That's where Drake is performing with Lil Wayne
at the Hollywood Bowl. Let's keep it
Is
real.
it little or Lil? I
know it's not little, but like I feel weird going Lil Wayne. But yeah, it's Lil Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah,
good to
he's
know.
cool. And as you guys have already seen, we have Meghan McCain making her first appearance on The Point, which I'm super freaking excited about.
But not my first appearance on TYT.
Correct. We did an interview with you last year. Cenk and I sat down with you, and it was really a fun telling interview.
I flirted my face off with Cenk, and the internet will never let me forget it. Ever. It's a very awkward moment. I always feel like I need to tell people we're good friends too.
We are good friends.
I mean, it's a little awkward to be interviewed by your good friend, but whatever.
Well, we're just gonna have a conversation. It's gonna be fun. And for those of you who don't know, she is the host of Take Part Live on Pivot TV. Make sure you guys check your local listings and check out the show. All right, so let me give you a little taste of what we're gonna talk about on the show today. We're gonna start off with a discussion on segregation within sororities. Believe it or not, it still exists. Then we're gonna talk about how Burger King used an inappropriate image of a woman without asking her about it beforehand. And then a South Carolina mom found out that her son is watching porn. She alerted the authorities. Guess what happens next? And a French hospital wants to help out the terminally ill by giving them a glass of wine or two. Some people are upset about this. We'll discuss why. And finally, is a sex education textbook too racy for Southern California students? We'll get into the details of that and more. But of course, let's start off with our very first topic, segregation in Alabama sororities, which is pretty surprising, especially considering the decade we're living in. So the University of Alabama system has the largest Greek system. In fact, they have about 8,600 members. And recently, a number of women within their sororities came forward to Marie Claire to talk about the segregation that they have experienced while they were part of the Greek system there. Now, apparently, they have a very pre-civil rights mindset, which is obviously questionable. And so a few of the interviewees, interviewees talked to Marie Claire and said the following. We were told we do not take black girls because it would be bad for our chapter, our reputation, and our status. Another girl said, there was a list of girls who were to be dropped from Rush. Anyone who was a minority was automatically added to it. Sometimes they'd say things like, oh, she wore an ugly dress, but it was so obviously wrong, so obviously racism. So this is something that went on, and I love the fact that there are a few people that are going rogue and they're deciding, you know what, we're against this, we're not in favor of it, we're going to speak out and do this interview with Marie Claire. I want to know what you guys think about it. Megan, let me start with you. Make your point.
It's fucked up. It's awful. I think, you know, I applaud these girls for speaking out. I was never in a sorority just because at Columbia it wasn't really that popular, and because I don't like the message that if you have the wrong hair or the wrong weight or whatever, that you're somehow not going to be accepted into a group of people.
What about you, Dave?
Well, you know I don't curse that often, but I'm going to use the fuck word too, because this is such fucking shit, actually. Yeah. Like, this is 2014. We have this stuff going on in Ferguson, Missouri right now. Like, this racial stuff, it just doesn't stop. Every time we think we're getting past it, and we have a black president apparently, and we thought that was going to maybe do it, and we were going to be post-racial, and this stuff just keeps coming. So it is fucking shit.
Yeah, I think you guys both made really great points, and I want to kind of elaborate on it further. I mean, I love what Megan said about not wanting to buy friendship or be part of something because it's considered cool. And you're going to have to deal with them judging you all the time. How are you dressed? How are you acting? Are you partying hard enough? I wouldn't want to be part of something like that, so I totally understand. And you know, to Dave's point, I mean, we keep dealing with people who claim that we're in a post-racial world, yet we have a Greek system in a state where it's very clear that segregation exists, and so we need to have an open dialogue about it. We need to stop fearing any type of conversation about race relations and whether or not racism exists in the country. All right, so there is the personal element to this segment, and I want to ask you guys, were you ever left out of something because of your age, your race, your gender? Did you ever feel like any of those characteristics led to you missing out on something in your life? Megan, let me start with you.
You know, when I think women are left out of things all the time, especially women on news and in media, but I specifically think when I was out of college and when I first started working with my father on his campaign that I would try and interject myself into conversations with his advisors, and they like nothing short of like kick me in the ass out of the room. And I always felt so invalidated because I thought I had a different perspective than they had because I was younger and because I was a woman. Times, you know, they have since come to, I think, regret not listening to me more. But yeah, I think women are left out of conversations daily, especially in politics.
Dude, I hear that, definitely. What about you, Dave?
Yeah, well, I hate to pull the gay card here, but I think by default, by being gay, you're automatically, especially in this business, it's just like an extra thing. So for now it's kind of cool. Like now people think it's cool, and I think it, in a weird way it's sort of working to my advantage. But for a long time, can you have a gay host? Can people be out? It's only in the last couple of years that we have, you know, someone like Anderson Cooper that's out. So just by default, I think I was left out of some things where now it's sort of like a feather in my cap. So
That's really fascinating. You know, I'm going to actually turn racial discrimination on its head because for the first time ever, I felt like being white worked against me. But I mean, I'm not complaining to say like, oh my God, white people are discriminated against all the time. I did an interview with one of these major television shows, and they did the full interview. I actually traveled to New York to do the interview, which is crazy. And they knew what I was. They knew I'm Armenian, which is Caucasian, and yet they had me fly.
You're white?
Yeah, I'm white.
I was
Believe
not
it or
told
not,
that,
believe it or
right?
not.
Okay.
And they sat me down, did the interview, and they ended it by saying, well, you know, you seem like you're qualified, but unfortunately we're looking for a Latina.
What the hell?
Great, great. I'm sure your show's gonna do real well if you're looking for a specific ethnicity or race as opposed to someone who's qualified. It's so stupid. But yeah, you go through that a lot when you're working in the entertainment industry or in media. Anyway, I wanna know what you guys think. Comment in the section below. Do you feel like any of your characteristics have actually worked against you, whether it's a physical characteristic, maybe it's a mental characteristic? I wanna hear in the comment section below. We love hearing from you. And of course, we will use your comments in a video at the end of the month where we choose the best responses and react to them. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and of course, we'll see you soon. Burger King is facing a little bit of backlash after a woman that was utilized in one of their ads is now speaking out saying that she never agreed to be used in the ad. She was never asked permission, and she feels that the ad makes her look bad because, as you guys could see from that image, it looks like she's about to give the burger a blowjob. The image was used several years ago. It was blowjob inspired, and it was for their super...
Is that the technical term? It was blowjob inspired?
Well, yes. Yes,
Okay.
it was.
Very good.
I mean, what's the medical way of saying blowjob again? Isn't it like
Is it oral sex?
oral sex? No, it's not cunnilingus. That's for
Fellatio.
Fellatio. There we go. It was fellatio
Yeah.
inspired. Okay.
There you
So
go.
it was a fellatio inspired ad for their Super 7-incher burger.
Oh my God.
And so this model's really upset. She's going by the name Jane Doe. She's going after Burger King. And you know, the picture was originally utilized for something completely different. Here's the statement that she released to the public about the situation. She says, Burger King found my photo online from a series I did of various facial expressions and contortion poses, and with no due regard to me as a person, profited off reducing me to an orifice for their penis sludge, publicly humiliating me in the process. It was shown online as well as on bus stops and the walls and placemats of their restaurant. She also says, I didn't know about this being done to my image, let alone agree or pose for the scenario. There is something very wrong with the fact that they felt entitled to do that to my face without signing a contract with me. I believe in sexual expression in art and the media. It's beautiful and necessary for a healthy society, but it must be consensual. Otherwise, it's rape. So she had me all throughout her statement, and then when she used the word rape to discuss or to describe the situation she's in, then I thought, all right, you're about to lose support. But I want to know what you guys think. Dave Rubin, make your point.
Well, I get it that she didn't sign something with Burger King, but if she did sign something with whoever the photographer was, or, you know, we always talk about privacy and who owns what, if she just put the image out there and they grabbed it and it was legal, like, I'm not defending it because it is kind of gross and they should have a budget to pay the fellatio girl.
Yeah.
Like, if they want want to do the blowjob chicken sandwich thing, like just pay the girl. But if they didn't do anything, they're coming out with that one soon. But if you know what I mean, like if they didn't do anything illegal here, then I think it's a little disingenuous of her to be making such a big deal about it. If she signed her name on something.
It may not be illegal, but it's definitely unethical. And there was a picture of me on the internet with my mouth open, which I'm sure there is someplace, and somebody used it to look like I was giving anything a blowjob. I would lose my mind and sue everyone involved in every capacity, even if it is technically legal. And she's being sexually objectified in a way. Can you imagine going into Burger King and seeing your mouth looking like you're giving a burger a blowjob? I would lose my mind, and I understand how embarrassed and degraded she feels.
Unfortunately, this kind of stuff happens all the time. I mean, my image was used in a weight loss ad online without my permission or without my consent. And when I consulted with a few professionals on what I should do, they're like, you got to lawyer up and you got to go after them. And the thing is, if you don't have the resources or if you don't have the time to do it, sometimes you got to let it go. And it sucks. And she's kind of in that position. She doesn't strike me as someone who has the resources to go after them.
But she can use this hamburger blowjob to her advantage. Like now we're talking about her. So you know what I mean? Like she's getting a little buzz off her Burger King blowjob.
But her being the Burger King blowjob girl, that's not the thing I'm sure she thought her life would look like.
One other thing, Burger King has a long history of doing really, really racy ads that degrade both men and women, right? They make men seem like they're morons that don't know how to cook or take care of themselves,
Well,
and then they overly sexualize women. So Burger King is just terrible in that regard. Well, here's the question for this story. Have you ever had to play up your sexuality in exchange for something? It could be a promotion for a show, it could be a book deal, it could be anything. I want to know if you guys have ever felt that way. It would be interesting to hear from a man. Dave Rubin, tell me what you think.
Well, I'm going back to the gay thing, if that counts as a man thing. You know, for years when I was doing stand-up, I wasn't out, and then when I came out, at first the opportunities just disappeared, sort of like I was saying in the previous segment, but then an opportunity opened up on OutQ on Sirius, which was the LGBT channel. So I really had to play up the gay thing, even though it's just a tiny little piece of the whole thing going on here. But I had to play it up, and I had to start talking about things that I didn't really care about, like the Real Housewives, like we were talking about before, and things that I really don't care about, but had to sort of placate to the crowd to get the show. And then I enjoyed the show while I had it. So
Nice. Okay, well, I feel like sometimes you have to compromise certain things in order to make it work. But what do you think, Megan? Have you had to do the same or anything similar?
Well, I know you and I have had conversations in our personal life about, I constantly struggle with wanting someone to think I'm beautiful and hot, but also wanting to be taken seriously. I did an interview with Playboy like 2 years ago for their 20 questions segment, and there was a photo shoot attached to it, and I was very specific, like, I'm not getting naked, it's gonna be tasteful, whatever, and I thought all the groundwork was laid. The second I get there, all the clothes they pick, it's like, it was ridiculously, clothes I would never wear in any context anywhere, even in my bedroom, alone with a dude, like in any capacity. And I was saying, I'm not comfortable dressing like this. And then they were like, well, what about if you were naked wrapped in an American flag? And I was like, so we're missing the point of like, what's going on here? And I ended up crying at the photo shoot, and it was a whole disaster. I'm still not happy with that picture because it's like, it's kind of like tardy, but I look uncomfortable. And I felt pressure to play up my sexuality. And of course I want to look hot, but I also, you know, I don't want my mom to have a heart attack and die when it comes out. So yeah, I've definitely felt that pressure before.
It's weird. Like I've gone through like this roller coaster of emotions when it comes to playing up your sexuality. I remember when I first started at TYT, I was super young and honestly very ignorant on a lot of different political issues. So I felt like there was a lot of emphasis on how I was there for my looks, even though I literally got hired over the phone and they asked me one question, whether or not I would come in at 3 in the morning. Once I said yes, they're like, you're hired. I did not get hired for my looks. But anyway, and so I was like, I gotta downplay it, I gotta make people think that I'm here for something more than that, right? And then for a really long time, I focused on really serious, sad, depressing, substantive stories. I made sure to dress like a grandma. And in the meantime, I'm going through my 20s and I know that I'm fun, I know that I enjoy my body and I enjoy dressing a certain way. And so I think in my late 20s, I finally decided like, wait, people on the internet are gonna call me stupid and I'm gonna change the way I live my life because of that? Fuck that. So now I wear whatever the hell I want and no one tells me anything, and if they say, hey, you're there for your looks, well, fuck you, what are you doing? You're sitting behind a computer and talking shit, right? So it is what it is and I love it. I play up my sexuality whenever I'm comfortable with it, but I never do it to replace intellect or talent.
For the record, Anna, I'm pretty sure most of the audience is happy with the way you dress.
Yeah.
Hey.
I just wish we could live in a time where we could have a more nuanced view of women in the media.
Yes.
That you can dress sexy and be gorgeous and still have a brain attached to that.
Yeah.
Which, for whatever reason, in 2014, I don't know, people still can't handle.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people can't. They think that being attractive and intelligent is mutually exclusive, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, well, I love it how on all the cable news shows, all the women are always sleeveless. Now, you're sleeveless right now, but it's by your choice. But like, the men are never sleeveless. Imagine Wolf Blitzer sleeveless. Nobody wants to see that.
No.
You know, but for some reason, the women all have to be sleeveless because you can't get your news from a woman that, you know, you can't see her upper arm.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, honestly, the great thing about TYT is that no one has ever told me what I can and can't wear. I've made some bad decisions when it comes to attire at work. I mean, you look at those older videos and you're like, but...
Whatever, we all have.
You know we're not allowed to wear underwear in here, by the way. So
Yeah, commando. Anyway, guys, tell us what you think. Have you ever had to compromise your values, or have you ever had to play up your sexuality in order to get some sort of promotion or some opportunity in life? We want to hear from you in the comments section below, and we'll see you guys soon. Nothing makes parents more uncomfortable than realizing that their children are starting to discover their own sexuality. But one mother in South Carolina took things too far when she discovered that her 15-year-old son was watching pornography and alerted the authorities. Because that's what you need to alert the authorities to, the fact that your 15-year-old son is masturbating. Anyway, so apparently her daughter turned on the TV, and of course porn was on, and that was when the woman realized, oh my God, my 15-year-old son is watching porn. I need to let the sheriff know. And so the sheriff's office did not make an arrest or issue a citation, which, by the way, it's South Carolina, so thank God, right? Yeah. You never know. But they did allow her to make a voluntary statement detailing the incident. So I want to know what you guys think about this. Megan, let me start with you.
Statement.
Probably like a police report or something, just so she could feel good about it.
I feel so bad for that kid. I mean, he's gonna have such sexual issues. And how humiliated must he feel? We're talking about this on a TV show right now, or internet show, excuse me. But I just can't believe that a woman would overreact to such a degree. And I'm so sorry, ma'am, but kids masturbate as they're figuring out their sexuality, and I just feel bad for that kid.
Absolutely, and he's 15 years old. I mean, as a mother, I would worry if my son wasn't masturbating at that point. But I don't know. I wouldn't want to know about it, right? But I wouldn't be surprised.
First off, if you could get arrested for watching porn, I'd be in Attica. We'd be Skyping this thing. You know what I mean? That's the rule. But also, what was she thinking was going to happen? What did she want to happen? Did she want him to go to jail? Did she want him to spend a night in solitary confinement where he would have been masturbating in there because there's nothing else to do? So, you know what I mean? What was she going for? That is the part that kind of blows my mind here.
Yeah, I think, look, the only point that I want to make about it is it's really difficult for parents to understand that their kids are starting to discover their sexuality. I'm sure it's super uncomfortable, but you don't want to create a situation where they're afraid to tell you things, or a situation where they feel ashamed of their sexuality or the certain urges that they have, right? Because it could lead to long-term psychological issues, and you don't want that. Try to be open-minded. You want them to come to you if they're in any type of danger or if they want any information to protect themselves once they do become sexually active. Going to the authorities just makes the situation way worse.
You know this kid is going to have some weird cop fetish when he grows up now. You know what I mean?
No, the poor kid. He should be in therapy. I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
It's crazy. All right, so here's the question for this story. Have you ever overreacted to something that someone did, or has anyone ever overreacted to something that you've done? Megan, let me start with you.
I feel like this is such a hard question. I'm like, every day of my life I do or say something that people completely overreact to.
Yeah.
On my show last night, we were talking about fake wombs and being able to grow children in science fiction, or in science possibly in the future. And I said that I was pro-life, and I had said it last week, and for some reason the internet is shocked that I'm pro-life, and it just doesn't fit in with their narrative of who I am for whatever reason. And I think the internet's completely going a little too crazy.
Interesting. All right, Dave?
Well, I'll jump on board the internet one also. We've talked about this on TYT 140, my other show. We did a joke about the Indian elections, which were the biggest Democratic elections ever. And I made the joke about Apu from The Simpsons, thank you, come again, implying that people voted twice maybe because of the slogan. It wasn't the most brilliant joke ever, but I was making a comment about a beloved character on arguably the best comedy show ever, and people started going crazy that I hate Indians and I'm racist against Indians. I was put on hatesindians.tumblr.com or something. So I think everyone on the internet needs to kind of tone it down a little bit. But it's a gang mentality on that.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, look, the show that I do here right now, the Young Turks, both of them are completely unscripted. A lot of times it sparks a spontaneous conversation about something. And every once in a while, you might misspeak.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest issue that I have with people's reaction to that is, look, sometimes people misspeak. When you're sitting there with a camera on you for an hour or 2 hours straight, once in a while you might slip up and say something that you didn't actually mean. It might come out wrong. And so I think that when you get that really negative reaction, or that knee-jerk reaction, I should say, it's because there are people who are like obsessed with proving you wrong. So they're like sitting there waiting for you to say something wrong so they can jump on you. And I feel like that happens on a daily basis, and you just kind of have to brush your shoulders off and move on. But we want to hear from you guys. Have you ever experienced something embarrassing with your parents like this 15-year-old did? Or have you ever felt like someone overreacted to something that you've done? Have you overreacted to something that a friend or a family member did? Share your comments in the section below, and we'll see you guys soon. A hospital in France wants to do terminally ill patients a solid and allow them to enjoy their lives a little bit before they unfortunately pass. What they're doing is they're opening a wine bar in the hospital so the terminally ill can have a glass of wine or two and just kind of relax. Now, for some reason, they have been met with some criticism over this, but they did release a statement saying the following: "Why should we refuse the charms of the soil to those at the end of their lives? Nothing justifies such a prohibition. Medically supervised tastings will help brighten what is often a difficult daily life." I could not agree with this more. I don't even know why this is a controversial issue or a controversial topic. You're terminally ill. You should do everything possible to enjoy the last moments of your life. And for anyone to come in and say, oh, no, that person shouldn't have a glass of wine is absolutely ridiculous. I want to know what you guys think. Dave, let me start with you and make your point.
Yeah, well, I totally agree with you. I mean, when we talk about medical marijuana all the time, I'm always constantly amazed by anyone that would say to someone else who has a terminal illness or is in pain what they can or can't do to mitigate that pain. So these people who are going to die, if that's going to give them any enjoyment, any little bit of joy that they can pilfer out of the rest of their existence, they got to take it.
Absolutely. Megan.
And it might actually help them if they have, not a taste of real life, not to and to be, I don't know, enjoying things from everyday life. I don't know why anyone would be against this. I think we have such a weird relationship with death in not just American culture, but in general. And I think giving them as many daily pleasures as possible is wonderful.
I think we have an obsession with judgment and trying to control the lives of other people. If people want to drink, if people want to smoke, if people want to do certain things that make them happy, let them do things that make them happy. I think the key is if they're not doing something that's harming someone else, then you have no reason to judge them. Let them do what makes them happy. That's my whole philosophy on life, to be honest with you.
Tasting?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
And by the way, we keep people hopped up on all kinds of drugs and extend their lives with all kinds of machines and drugs and pills and all that. So if we can give someone something that will give them a little more joy, that should just fit into the equation. It doesn't have to replace everything,
So Dave, I have a question for you and Megan. I want to know what you guys would do if you only have 1 week left to live. How would you spend that week?
Well, first off, I would throw my phone out the window immediately. That would be the first thing. That thing would be gone and crushed. And I would go to a beach somewhere, let's say Hawaii, and I would eat only the best food all day long for the entire week, and I'd sit on the beach the entire time, and I would completely shut down. And I guess if family and friends want to say goodbye, that would be fine. But I would be okay if they didn't, that too. Like just eat, I would just eat and sit outside, and that would be it.
All right. Megan?
I would probably go home to Arizona to our cabin in Sedona and invite everyone here, everyone everywhere, to the biggest party ever, eat as much disgusting food as possible, have as much sex as possible, and drink as much beer as possible.
Yes.
That's what I would do.
Yes. So I think during the day, I would spend as much time with my family, and then at night, it's on. Like Latino men. I'm not going to lie, I'm going to try a bunch of drugs that I've never tried before because I'm curious and I'm going to die anyway. Why the hell not?
Maybe even a glass of wine.
Maybe a glass of wine. Okay, hold on. Let me think again. Latino men, drugs. Probably like raves. I like EDM music. I'd be dancing constantly. I mean, hopefully if I'm like energetic enough to do it. But I would enjoy all of the things that people like wag their fingers at. And I'd be like, whatever, man, I'm about to die. I'm going to enjoy it. So, and then obviously I would eat as much as I possibly could, right? All the fatty foods that you feel guilty about.
I would be like eating cookie dough out of it, you know, like disgusting.
Oh, I could totally imagine myself. I'm at a rave. I'm eating cookie dough. I'm grinding up on some Latino dude. It's like heaven on earth.
That's so funny because you guys are talking about cookie dough and fatty foods, but when I said food, I meant like I would want to eat the best, like I would want like great steaks. Yeah, like that kind of stuff, and great seafood. But like the cookie dough in my mouth, like I could do that today. Like I'll eat a lot of cookie dough.
No, I'd be like at Sonic. I would be like eating corn dogs, like disgusting food.
Well, that could kill you actually, so there you go.
Well, we want to hear from you guys. What would you do in the last week of your life? How would you enjoy the simple pleasures? Would you do something calm and relaxing like Dave would do at a beach? Or would you go wild like Meghan and I would?
Like we want cookie dough queen over here.
Cookie dough queens. Tell us what you guys think in the comment section below, and we'll see you guys soon. Sex education is, of course, a very controversial topic, especially when it's taught in public schools. Fremont, California, which is in Southern California, is dealing with this debate at this very moment. Apparently, the school district decided to use a book titled Your Health Today. And the book goes into detail about various issues regarding sex, like masturbation, birth control, how to buy and use a condom. Now, while some parents, and of course the school district, are completely comfortable with using this book to teach the sex ed curriculum, other parents feel that it just goes too far and gives the students information that they don't want to know. Now, to give you more context, it will be taught to 9th grade students, so it's their first year of high school when they probably should get comprehensive sex ed. But some parents are saying, look, we don't need our kids to know about bondage and stuff like that, and especially vibrators. They feel uncomfortable with that as well. I want to know what you guys think about it, though. Megan, let me start with you. Make your point.
We actually talked about this on my show last night, and I actually agree with the parents. I think there's a difference between talking about sexual education and biology and all the things you should expect at a young age when kids, and I know the internet's here and there's porn everywhere and whatever, but kids still need to understand what's going on with their body before they get to bondage, which is a totally next level, and to me that goes beyond just science and education.
Fair enough?
Yeah, I agree with Megan. I know that sounds kind of prudish for most of the stuff we do here, but you need to teach the first part, being okay with your body and sexuality and that stuff, and then maybe somewhere a couple of years later or something, because they're going to find out about this stuff anyway. The porn, they're going to find out about it, and they're probably doing it, but I don't think you can immediately teach everyone everything at once. So they can't find out about masturbation the same time they're finding out about bondage, because I think that conflates a lot of issues.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I feel like when you're talking about 13-year-olds, they already know about bondage. I feel like they've already seen it.
I did not know about bondage when I was 13. I don't know if I was just in Never Never Land, but I did not know about that.
The first time I experienced porn was probably like literally the same week that we got our computer. I went on like I'm not even
like at the store. You were like, what?
Like we went home and 10 minutes later. But it's like I was a kid. Like I literally had no idea what porn was. I didn't know what sex was. No clue. But no matter what, no matter how hard you try, you stumble upon it when you go online. So I remember I went on AOL Instant Messenger, and then of course like the people in the chat room were asking all these perverted questions, and I was like, what does that mean? And before I know it, I see porn. And I was definitely not 13 at the time. So the reason why I'm in favor of this book is because they should know everything. I would want my kid to know as much as possible at that point, and I want them to be as educated as possible, so they don't feel pressured to do things they don't want to do. They know how to protect themselves once they finally start having sex, all of that, you know, so I'm more open to it, but I could totally understand why some people would be uncomfortable with the bondage part of it. I just feel like it's a small part of the book.
Like everything have to be 50 Shades of Grey? Everything in the world? I don't understand why this is something we talk about all the time now.
Right.
Yeah.
Like in their math books, so they're like, well, if you're having an orgy and you have 3 guys and 2 girls, and then, you know.
Yeah. By the way, parents can opt out of this sex ed course. So if parents are uncomfortable with it, they can take their kids out, which I think is a better option than getting rid of the entire class. All right, so the question for this story is, what's one thing or life lesson you wish you were taught when you were in school but weren't? Megan, let me start with you.
anything having to do with finance or balancing a checkbook, I mean, or using a credit card properly. I remember when I got to college and I had my first credit card, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. And then you realize you have to pay everything on time or it'll screw up your credit. And I didn't know any of those things. Why don't they teach a class like that in college?
That is a great point, absolutely. Fortunately, like my dad sat me down and he's like, don't spend money you don't have. It will ruin your life. And I was like always super responsible with money as a result of that. But I mean, I saw people go into debt when they were 18. It was
and
crazy.
I learned the hard way.
Yeah. How about you, Dave?
You know, look, they teach all the academic stuff. They could probably do a better job in some of the real world stuff, but I think there should be some sort of class, I don't know if it's a philosophy class or something, really with the idea of just be yourself. I think is the most important thing that you can teach a kid. It's the most important thing you can teach an adult, and it's the most important thing you can be as a person. And I feel like we never do that. Like we teach science and math and social studies and politics, but like really what being human is about is kind of lost in the educational system. So I think that would be good.
Yeah, I would say that I wish grade school taught more about balance, because there's a lot of emphasis on you need to go to a 4-year university, you need to be successful, you need to have as much money as possible once you graduate. Like there's too much emphasis on that and not enough emphasis on, hey, you know what, you're young once, make sure you enjoy your life as well. Make sure you do things to balance things out and that you're not too focused on academics. I look back at my high school experience and especially my college experience, and I didn't really enjoy it at all. I was too caught up in, oh, I gotta finish this assignment, I should take this college class, I should do this and that. And so now I feel like I'm in my late 20s and I'm going nuts, you know? And I don't know if that's a healthy thing, but it's happening. So tell us what you guys think. What's one life lesson you wish you were taught earlier in life, but unfortunately weren't? We do love to hear from you in the comment section. And of course, we might use your comment in a video that we do at the end of the month where we respond to some of your responses to our videos. We hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we hope you enjoyed the segment. We'll see you soon. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show as much as I enjoyed hosting it. The panelists were freaking awesome today, and I really love the topics as well. I want to give you guys a chance to tell the audience a little more about you. Dave, you've been on the show before, but for those who don't know you yet, let them know where they can find you.
If you're a Young Turks fan and you don't know me at this point, I really don't know what to do with you. But just in case, youtube.com/Rubin Report, and that's also my Twitter, and those are pretty much the only two things that I do, so there you go.
Awesome.
Tweet and TYT.
Yeah.
Megan.
My name is Meghan McCain. I host a show on Pivot called Take Part Live, and you can find my Twitter at Meghan McCain.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. That was so much fun.
By the way, I almost did the same thing with my hair that Megan did, so it's a good thing.
I like
Put that
it.
pink in. It's been some people love it, some people hate it, but
Don't listen to the haters.
But
I
do
think it looks
care?
great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, you guys can check me out Monday through Friday on the youngturks.com or tytnetwork.com. We, of course, do a 2-hour show that streams live from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to get a little bit of information about my personal life and what I like to do on my spare time, or if you want to watch a debate that I did with this prick named Stephen or Stefan Molyneux, you can go to my personal YouTube channel, youtube.com/Ana Kasparian. And of course, you can find me on Twitter at Ana Kasparian. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed the show this week. Have an awesome week. And of course, we'll see you guys next week.